Okay, yeah, open the cage, let the animals out. Hello and yay to a
Isn't
new.
that illegal?
It isn't it illegal to say yay? No, wait, isn't it illegal to just open the cage?
Open the cage, let the animals out? Isn't
The
that illegal?
open the
The
cage,
most
let them
evil.
out. Anyways, new episode of Shitty Webcomics Weekly that I guess we almost missed this week. I forgot we were busy. We were busy doing all sorts
I
of
didn't forget,
delightful
but yeah, we
things.
have all of our time is so already
It's
spoken
so important.
for.
But yeah, like we're actually, that's another thing. What about your shitty webcomics? We're making them, and they're quite delightful.
They're not shitty, they're actually good webcomics.
As opposed to shitty, they're not shitty. And I will convince you by saying, no, actually, um,
No.
actually, the, no. Anyways, as usual, these episodes are brought to you by our wonderful backers on Subscribestar, linked in the description below, where you can get access to a bunch of secret videos that you're not allowed. You are dispermitted piece of shit
It
from
is
watching
not
them.
permitted.
Yeah, it's not permitted.
Our webcomics are so great, they are volumes of the mind, not
Not
perversions.
perversions of the feet, but his little laugh there is great. If you want to suggest a webcomic or ask a question, check out our Curious Cat, which is also linked below. Um, this week we're just going to kind of rush through it. Gonna cover. It's kind of funny. Sinfest very reliable to just be like, here's Sinfest. So looking at this, girl is poking. She's not even poking the fire. She's just putting the end of the stick into the fire, which I don't think helps. Like usually, what you're supposed to do is stir the fire or adjust the fucking debris in there so it can burn better and
And just hold
help the
the
fire.
end of the stick over the fire like she's trying to light it on fire.
Yeah, it's like what's going on. And then she sees a bulldozer fucking dumping girl but fembot parts into a landfill with like fucking I don't know other stuff, just stuff. It
There's
looks like
pictures
other
of
parts of the fucking Sinfest universe.
it's
Yay.
fucking it's the detritus of the world of the 3D pig.
Also, detritus of this webcomic. Like, there's like here's the foam goofy pitchfork, and then here's the hat that fucking that United States fucking Uncle Sam guy would wear, and just other stuff. And it's like, yeah, this is pretty much what's happened to this comic. Is it's dumped in the garbage. Good. To be honest, it's only for the best. Especially the stupid shit about the fembots, their parts all being dumped into the garbage. It's like, yeah, that whole plot thread, that whole concept, whatever his point was, it really went nowhere. Just into the garbage it goes. It's a shit comic. Into the garbage it goes. I'm a big guy for you.
Into the fucking garbage it
It's
goes.
fucking garbage. That's really all that needs to be said. See, that's the thing about Sunday comics is that, they're colorful and they have a bunch of panels, but it's like what happens in them, just a thing. It's like some stuff gets dumped in the garbage. The end. It's like you could do that with one panel or something.
Could have been a whole entire singular panel.
Yeah, a bigger, well, like this final panel here where she's overlooking the big garbage dump. If you just widened that out a bit, showed like the bulldozer dumping garbage parts as she watches from over the edge, this would only need to be one panel. So 0 out of 10. My favorite webcomic. We're just going to move on to. I was going to say, let's go to Dresden Codak, where there's no new update, and then there's a new update. It's like, oh shit, he's actually working on his comic. Um,
But who cares?
yeah, last time it was like something. There's dramatic stuff going on. I have a feeling this is some kind of meta narrative criticism, the same way like the end of or the final episodes of Evangelion.
And just
Gajelion.
and just like it completely sacrifices actual narrative
And tone.
for just it's author self fucking wank.
Yeah.
It's total wank.
It's like, oh no, she turns into stereotypical goofy. Like it's even drawn, which you almost have to give credit. He's drawing it in the kind of more goofy animu style, but it's like, oh, the way the fucking creators here are trying to sexualize her, but then they're all like hung up on strings, and it's like, oh, there's sexy outfits, but no, she is supposed to be about more than that. That's the thing. I could read the whole comic and just see what they're saying, but I don't need to, and I don't give a shit. I
Honestly, a
know
lot
his
of it
point is like, oh, this is actually my character is about
is
more.
extremely arduous. It's
Yeah.
just so fucking, it's so belabored that it actually is boring.
Well,
Makes it
yeah, it's
really
like
boring.
here's like some person behind her is like breaking character in front of all these people. Amateur work. No, this isn't me. I lost the. And it's not the first time though, is it? Something. It's like, who cares? What the fucking again?
What
You're
does
trying to
this?
make this point.
This is not how people talk either.
No, and of course this has nothing to do with what was previously happening. This is just like, oh, I'm gonna fucking let me cleverly satirize the way that my character is perceived. And I think all this still ties in together with that one criticism he got 5 or 6 years ago from some feminist on Tumblr that accused him of just making a sexualized fucking strong female protagonist character,
Which he's guilty of.
yeah, he was. The thing is
Absolutely,
that
absolutely guilty.
they still missed the point is that she was also still about like a dismemberment fetish because she was constantly popping arms off. Thing is, you can see her now more blatantly like drawn with muscle and stuff, and it's like, oh, that's the fucking that's that's to show how she's physically powerful, but she never does anything. She just stands around as everyone's talking. It's all a bunch of fucking
That's exactly the thing,
dialogue
is that
dumping.
it almost seems to imply as if something was going to happen,
Yeah, but
but nothing
there's
happened.
it's not even an exposition dump. It's just dialogue dump.
It's worse than an exposition
Yeah.
dump because at least an exposition dump would include actual exposition.
Like I could try and read back and see like what the fuck is really supposed to be happening here canonically, but I know it's nothing because
We already
like the
tried
Hob,
that.
that entire the Hob arc wasn't about anything.
Yeah,
It was like,
and
oh,
that
robots
was
are being
years and years ago.
persecuted.
We're going back really far.
Yeah, yeah. We've been actually covering this comic since 2012 or 2013. So we know from all the way in the beginning. The whole point of this is like, girl is in cerebral adventures that are probably too smart for you to figure out. But
It's too deep for you. It's kind of like
yes,
Final Fantasy VII. The
yeah.
story is too deep for you.
Really Xenogears, Xenoqueers that's basically what this is. It was like trying way too hard to be clever when it's really just stupid and not. It's like, oh, it's about really deep themes, and then it's really just a bunch of rip-offs of other shit, and then it's not about any, like, none of those deep
It's.
themes have anything to do with like the characters don't tie
I
into
was
the
rewatching
supposed
the fucking
themes.
review of Alpha Protocol, and it's just like, man,
Oh
this is
yeah,
actually a really good story, really tight, well written,
yeah.
great
Was
characters,
it by
great dialogue.
Americans or something?
It's
Oh.
it's fucking but it's just a great example of when you compare that to something like this, and you just see all the things they fail to do here, all
Hmm.
the fucking mistakes that they're just obviously making, but they can't even understand it. He can't even understand it. He, in big sneering scare quotes, doesn't even understand what he's doing wrong.
Or she, I guess. Whatever.
That
Gazi,
thing,
what,
or it.
Zer. I don't know. I don't really care. I don't have respect for other people's pronouns. Yeah, that's right. I said it. That's it. Yeah. I pushed it.
But yeah, I'm also really tired of those people. I'm tired of people who are like, "Oh, this is brilliantly written. How is it brilliantly written? Oh, it's so smart. How is it smart? Don't just keep repeating that you think it's brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Actually explain it."
Or it's
And
like,
the answer
oh,
is
I
they
can't believe
can
where the
never
story's
explain
going.
it.
And it's like, it's not going anywhere, though.
Where is the story going? Oh, it's going somewhere. No, it's not.
It's just going off the rails, like from the here the previous
This
page
is
you
a
can look and
perfect
it's like, oh,
example.
she's a
It's a
barbarian chick and
stellar
she has
example
the power of the
of what
fire.
happens, and this is something that I still have to stress. probably until the end of human history,
Mm-hmm.
this is what happens
And beyond.
when an artist tries to write their own work.
Mm-hmm.
Is you get absolutely nothing of merit.
But this guy
It's
thinks he's a
complete
genius.
dog shit.
Like he'll probably say, "Oh, look at the side pocket he had. It connects. If you see, there's a string here. If you look, well, you probably. I guess you can maybe see it from the video, but there's like a white string that goes from like her side pocket of her ass or something to this fucking veiled fucking painting on the wall, and you could see it's here in all of these other takes. And it's like, so what? I don't give a shit. It doesn't, you know, he could pretend like, oh, that this means something. You see, it was foreshadowed, and it's like, I don't give a fuck. Like this goofy symbolism. Symbolism is really overrated, and usually symbolism doesn't mean anything. Symbolism is empty, and in fact, doesn't
there's a
mean
way to do it
anything in most
correctly.
storytelling.
This isn't it.
The thing is, symbolism is usually just a fancy way to try and dress up the style of a movie, but it has nothing to do with the actual fucking story. Unless, like, you get an actual good writer. But people mistake pretty art for good writing. And this is the same applied
And you can
for,
never trust them.
Tomahawk
Same,
Angel.
yeah, same for anime in general.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's
Yeah.
so amazing. It's the best work I've ever seen. Really, why is that? Oh, the animation's so great. I don't care.
Yeah, who gives a shit?
I don't fucking give a shit if the
But yeah,
animation's
that's
the best
them
animation in
admitting, like
human
an
history.
accidental admission of style over substance, which is what anime was from the start, where it was a lot of style, but the substance was extremely shallow and stupid. But then, you know, and again, here I'm going back several pages, and it's like tonally a giant shift, but again, it's like, here, she's working on her robot friend with the other huge tits, and it's just like, oh, did Cyberpunk just come out or something? Yes, because it kind of looks like that. But there's just all these weird, goofy, weeby elements here. And so she's like, again, working on cybernetic arms and stuff. Next thing, I guess, dream sequence where she's home and she's fucking going to Rome and she's a child and she's got a black eye. But then she's a barbarian. And then again, it's just jumping.
I was actually, you know what else I
random
was
shit.
thinking of was Druna. And Druna, I think, is actually better than this.
Although Druna doesn't have a good story either, necessarily.
That's exactly the problem.
Yeah.
Is that too many fucking times it relies on, oh, it turns out she was hallucinating, or
Yeah, that's
it was
right.
all a dream. It just, something is about to happen that's going to change things.
Some
That's,
creepy monster has its
she's
fingers in
fucking-
her giant cavernous depths of her ass crack. Oh no, wait, she was just dreaming. I didn't want to see that anyways, did I?
She was
No,
about
of
to
course not.
fucking, she was about to explosively orgasm so hard that she would just explode like a bomb. Oh man, where's this going in the next page?
She was
It's
going to
just
piss
nothing.
in her own face with gasms like a retard. Oh wait, no, she was just dreaming the whole time. Never mind. Or somebody pulls her away and is like, "No, look out, get away from that. That's dangerous." And it's like, oh yeah, I guess I didn't want to see that.
And Druna is still better than this.
Yeah, it's still way better than this, of course.
It's more coherent and more engaging.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
It also
this whole
doesn't
thing is-
fucking ever pull back. But I was also thinking about that. It's like, you know, especially in the modern day, if you fucking have an internet connection, do you want to just be teased or edged for fucking 90 pages that leads nowhere? Or would you actually rather see... do you want the payoff or not?
Or would you want 20 orgasms in a row until your fucking dick is raw? I don't know.
You want to be edged for 90 pages?
Do you want to
and
be
then have
edged
it end on a
forever
fucking
with no
cliffhanger?
with no jizz? Do you want to just be edged forever, and then the next thing is just trying to edge you more? And it's like, fucking, where is the payoff eventually? And it's like, but don't you like edging? And it's like, no, faggot. I'm not into feet either. You fucking queer.
I just want this over with.
Yes. At some point you got to deliver. That's the thing about storytelling. It's cool to tease your audience every once in a while for fun, but you have to be capable of delivering. And Dresden Codak never delivered on anything. It was all about like the symbolism and she disappeared mysteriously.
You don't
at
understand
end
the
of it.
symbolism, but
Yeah.
I understand the symbolism. Do you want to know what the Would you like
Ask
to
me what it
understand what the
means.
symbolism is? Well, I'm not going to tell you. And then you read the comic, and it's basically just there's nothing happening.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of random visuals with dialogue it's sort of like that lofty dialogue that's meant to
Look
sounds
how
like it means something.
artistic and poetic we can try and be. And it's like, I'm not seeing it actually.
It's like Man of Steel, where it's like they will join you in the sun. It's like, did you send him here to be a fucking alien conqueror god that fucking has all of the Kryptonian DNA, or what? What is the point? What's happening? What are you talking about? What the fuck's this stupid bullshit mean? Doesn't mean
It
anything.
basically, I mean, it
It's
just to
designed
keep
to sound good in a trailer.
it's kind of like in fucking again, like with Druna, except that this is happening like
Mm-hmm.
every half page.
Druna
Every
was
half
meant
page
to
is she
be,
wakes up from a dream
yeah,
and nothing happens, and you reset the entire
yeah,
timeline. And
yeah.
it goes on and on like that,
In
and you
Druna, at
gain
least it
nothing,
was
you
meant to
learn
be like
nothing.
fucking titillation, and he would just straight up draw porn and be like, "Here, I drew porn.
Yeah,
Here it
there were
is."
occasionally actual pages where it's like, oh no, she got kidnapped by evil mutant gang members who all have knives, and it's like, oh no, how's she going to get out of this one? And the answer is she has to suck all of their dicks,
They
and that's what
fucking
happened.
they
That's
rip her
it.
clothes off. It's really like her body worship is a bunch of it because she's fucking very like 70s thickica, and also like kind of muscular. She's very stacked. And that was kind of the point. I understand that being the point of the Druna comics is like here the story is basically just a framing device to show you her body. And it's like okay, that's fine. But with Dresden Codak, of course, it's way more pretentious. Pretentious is it's sort of like calling Dave Willis comics Strawman comics. It's the ultimate descriptor. Um, it's the ultimate description, really, of what the comic summed up in one word. This comic summed up with pretentious. Um, Sinfest is a bit pretentious too, of course, but anyways, whatever. We'll go to that's it for the bad comics. This week was a little sparse. We had some plans for future episodes, and maybe next week we'll get to them. We still wanted. There's a couple special episodes we're trying to do too. Um,
I mean,
and also a
this
very
stuff's not worth our time anyway.
no, but very important to mention is that again our review of Tomahawk Angel. That's like super shitty webcomics deluxe maximum real mode classic, all that shit. It's on our Subscribe Star. It's 4 parts. 2 parts are up. 2 more parts still to go up. So if you subscribe on our Subscribe Star,
It's a pretty good deconstruction.
yeah, it's one of our best reviews. If you ever fucking if you ever liked any of the old shitty webcomics, if you liked the old blog, the back in the classic days, this is a return to form in every way. Um, as opposed to this episode of Shitty Webcomics Weekly, where I mean, this is still a good episode, of course, but we're kind of just blowing through it and going with a couple mainstays to be like, next week we'll put because I still got some stuff written down. In fact, we plan on covering perhaps Bread Pains next week and George Alexopoulos comic or two as a comparison in a way. There's a few things to mention about them. We'll be covering that next week. But again, if you want to support us for that kind of thing, check out our Subscribe Star. But we'll end with the recommended comic, the good comic of the week, Camp Counselor Jason on Webtoon, which is like a fan comic about Jason from the Friday the 13th movies, except like he's nice because it was his mom who
He
was the
grew
killer
up and
after all.
actually became a real camp counselor. He's kind of showing them how it's done right.
Yeah, so it's like here the latest one. Her name is S'mores is the name of this episode, and it's like a tweet from 2020. Even though this is a new. Well, you know what? I think he might post this guy or this artist might post there
Well,
because
this
it could
one
be a
says the
lady.
next one says January 2.
Yeah, so it could be fucking. But I think the tweets here are just a framing device. But yeah, I'm not. I know that they post their stuff to Twitter, and they started posting their stuff to Webtoon recently. Um, but here, yes, me, camp counselor Jason, and his 500-pound, 7 foot tall teddy bear, and they're in bed, but also the other counselors. Oh no! And then it was this all just excuse to draw bear ears on top of Jason with his fucking hockey mask.
That's
I
where
don't
it
know.
all comes from.
And a fucking oh no, baby bear. I don't, are these again? Not even a comic, just an excuse to draw cute things, and it's fully justified here. Because no, so that's kind of what
Yeah,
Dresden
it's not
Kodak
fucking
wanted
with
to
you.
do, but
It's
failed at.
not. It's not like it's so up its own ass that it's a middle finger in your face. You don't understand it because you're not smart like me.
Yee.
It's not even trying to be that. Go back to comic 6 though.
Mm.
This one is probably one of the best.
Yeah, here
This
the
is
comic
probably
eight
one of the
was
best
just that. It was
comics
almost like just
ever.
cute drawings, but here Jason's bullies. I think we fucking I did see that one. Here, comic six. No horny in this camp. So yeah, the framing device because I haven't seen a lot of this comic, but I fucking have seen it recently. But the framing device is these tweets of I think Jason's mom fucking showing pictures of her son. They're gonna fuck in the tent. He rips the tent open. Oh no, he keeps crashing through. He's got a fucking machete.
He's like the fucking horny marshal
Yes.
or a fucking horny sheriff.
Go to horny. It even incorporates this stupid meme, which ties again. It ties in with the comic, so it's like just fucking goofy shit. And it's like, okay, that's still kind of funny.
Bonking them with a
With a
machete.
machete. Yeah, the fact that he's bonking it's the go to horny jail bonk with a fucking bat or something, but it's with a machete adds just that extra element of how it's funny because fucking it's with a machete. Um, it's the acknowledgement that these come from horror slasher films. Fucking, it's that extra awareness of like the implication of horrific nightmare violence meant to shock people, but in this form, it's like they turn it into cute, and then again, it's a fucking very easy comic to recommend because of that. The guy's on or person is on Twitter, Junk Mix Art. You can see, but also Webtoons. If you just look up Camp Counselor Jason, I don't know if it's on Tapas because a lot of people just upload to one site, but because I know there's a lot of questions about like, oh, does Tapas try and steal your rights or something? Because I am wondering about that, but I don't know, and all I can
Seems
say
like
is
a
I do
good
just recommend this comic.
seems like a good reason to use Tapas just so that you can burn it to the ground later
Yeah,
and
if it's like, oh,
hold
you're
up their husk as a warning
yeah, if,
to
if
the
you
other
you're
companies.
violating the rules of Tapas and you get banned, it's like, well, fucking, I don't give a shit. What are they gonna do? Ban me? And then they ban me. It's like, well, that's what I figured they might do. And if they
An
don't, then it's like,
excuse.
okay, there, I got somewhere else to post my comic. So that's why I kind of that's a little comic creator advice for people who are curious, like, oh, where should I upload my comic? Webtoon and Tapas right now, you can say, here's the thing, they can't legally really hold the right to own the rights to your comics forever. And so
Yeah,
it's
no,
like
that
if
would
you
never
upload to
work.
either of these
There's no
sites,
way.
just fucking do whatever you want with it's your comic. They can't stop you from like self-publishing.
The
And if
first
they
person
try
to
to,
actually get a
they can't
lawyer,
really do it.
first person to get a lawyer would put an end to that shit in
Yeah,
like one
exactly.
day. Just so long as it's not like a trust fund lawyer.
Yeah, make sure it's not some traffic ticket lawyer who fucking pretends to like anime on the internet. You want to get a real lawyer, but you probably don't need to. Again, what are they gonna do? They're not gonna fucking do anything. It's your comic, and if they're like, oh, you can't self-publish, then just pull the comic down or fucking they ban you or whatever. They can't really do it because it's your creation, and it always will be.
No,
So
believe me, if you make them feel the pressure, they will back down
yeah,
eventually.
I think it's kind
And
of an
and they
apocryphal
will be
story.
an example. That they will be a
Yeah.
horrible example.
I don't think most of that stuff is real. I think it's like apocryphal stories of like, oh, Tapas has these weird things that they want you to sign in order to use their site. You can just ignore that shit. Like fucking, break the rules. Fuck the rules. Fuck the law. Fuck the
It's kind of like
police.
with the thing is, it's that would also be true with YouTube, but there's no
Mhm.
alternative to YouTube right now that's actually worth a damn.
Yeah, like BitChute kind of, but yeah, even Odyssey. We looked into Odyssey, and Odyssey is going really stupid lately. It's going very small-hatted. I don't know what the fucking proper term is these days, but
Definitely small-hatted.
plus, like, we tried to fucking get on Odyssey to mirror our stuff, and it's like you have to have so many followers on YouTube already to fucking, and it's like fuck you,
Suck my dick.
sucking my dick, Iggy. But yeah, it's like I'm not gonna fucking manually upload all my videos to
This
fucking
fifth
Odyssey.
comic, the Camp Counselor Jason comic
What are
number
the
five.
comic?
This one's really nice.
Top comment. What is it? Which
Just
one?
number five. Just go back to number five.
Oh no. Oh, number five. Okay, I was at number six. I thought you were fucking looking at that. The top comment. Which one?
Well, it was the top comment.
There's our
I'm,
boy. It's your
I'm not.
boy.
I'm not looking at the comments. I'm looking
Oh.
at the comic.
Oh, the comic. Okay. Fucking yeah. Again, now we're looking at a comic so good, we just want to read the comic. It's like, oh, and again, they're nice little bite-sized comics too. Fantastic art. Um,
This is way more succinct too. That's
yeah.
actually the thing is there's no wasted panels of like 3 panels of Jason looking or just a close up of the sack over his face for 3 entire panels.
Which was
And it's like
part of
why?
some of this was part of wasn't the original movie. He didn't like or Jason's mom didn't wear a hockey mask or something.
Not
Uh,
until the second movie. I don't know actually. I don't know.
it's like,
But
oh, hockey mask. That's pretty iconic.
so
What
iconic.
a cute comic. This
Is
is
it
fucking.
iconic? It's iconic.
It's iconic. Fucking.
But yeah,
Of course,
so
there's
it's like
also
up to
the
page, what was it, 8?
yeah the page. Yeah, it's funny. It's like there's only 8 pages. I know there's more comics of the fucking thing. So on Twitter. So I'm not sure if they're just updating regularly enough. But again, yeah, wonderful, happy, fun, cute comic.
Easy to recommend. It's
Yeah.
like basically work safe as far as I can tell.
Yeah, well, you have to be. That's one thing about comics on Webtoons and Tapas. Like Tapas has a fucking mature thing, but you can't do porn on it. So on both sites, basically, you have to. It has to be work safe. You can't really have violence on Webtoons either, just in general. But again,
You
to some
can't?
extent, if you're just trying to get an audience and trying to draw in an audience to like maybe a main place, like your Patreon or whatever, just try to follow the rules as much as you can, bend them a bit. And if you break them and get in trouble, it's like, well, I fucking, if the audience, if people start turning on you, as long as, exploit the fucking site for your fucking profile. Try and get people to your Twitter, your Patreon, whatever, where they can really follow you in a place where you're not going to fucking have to put up with bullshit and get in trouble. So,
Nobody should ever have to put up with shit like that.
yeah, but I understand it's like if people are like, oh, your comic's a little too violent, so we're reporting it.
I mean, we live in the era of censorship. This is the
Yeah.
era of censorship. It's a disinformation age.
So, but whatever you can do, upload your comic to Webtoons, even if you're kind of breaking the rules. Try to get around the rules as much as you can, but just try to do whatever you can to build an audience
And
wherever, anyway,
bend
through
the rules
fucking
wherever you can,
yeah.
break them if necessary. It's kind of like Captain Janeway when it comes to the Prime Directive.
Yeah, fucking
Have you
break
ever
it whenever
broken the
you
Prime
want.
Directive? Broken, never. Bent on occasion. And it's like, bullshit.
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 Der
Bullshit.
Scheisskopf.
The,
Anyways,
the shithead. Not
that
just any shithead.
so yeah, again, lots more content. A ton of comic reviews are available on our Subscribe Star. If you just donate $1, you'll be able to at least see the reviews of Tomahawk Angel, which
I
is a
feel a little
webcomic.
bit like a lot of those e-girls on the internet, though. It's like, we're doing all this work and you can't even spare
You
a
can't even spare
dollar.
$5 for all you watching. You
You,
can't do your drive
you fuck.
$5.
You fucking ingrates should have to spend $80 just to listen to our
You
videos. You should
motherfuckers.
and you should not have a choice. Suck my dick, choke on it.
Suck my dick, Eddie. Mr. Fuck You Man. But
Eddie.
also, thank you to our Subscribe Star backers. They're very cool, and thank you for your support. And again, we have new stuff on our Subscribe Star. We have like videos scheduled on our Subscribe Star going all the way to fucking November at this point. So again, regular content, reviews, and all sorts of stuff on the Subscribe Star. Um, as far as comics, we might have a little something new to announce, but of course we got our regular comics. These videos aren't about our comics. In fact, I'm thinking next week of just plugging Villains of the Snow Sea. But you can check that out on Webtoons. Um, Anyways, yeah, so like, share, spread the word to the inferior normie cattle that you consort with about Shitty Webcomics existing and actually reviewing webcomics once a week for free. And again, donate to our Subscribe Star. There's more reviews of comics and webcomics. We're going to be reviewing comic books in the future too. Somebody gave us fucking Monster Hunt and Lone Star 2 fucking Sots of the Soldier or whatever the fuck. We do plan to review that, even if it's just the first few pages to point out how fucking stupid it is.
Not to
Um,
spoil it, but it probably very likely will only be the first few
yeah, we may
pages.
only review the first few pages because it's so stupid and boring. But anyways, donate to our Subscribe Star to get access to all the secret videos. Suggest a webcomic on our Curious Cat. Like, unshare, comment, re-comment, unshare, reshare, unshare,
Monster
unshare.
Hunt. We're going to review Monster Hunt. Monster Hunt, more like Michael Hunt.
Monster cunt. More like whiny cunts, the comic. Hit the unbell and should have listened to Shitty Webcomics.